we just want to let you know that we've spent the day with our guests. With us, I have obviously Mr. António Guterres, His Excellency the United Nations Secretary General. We have also the new Secretary General of UNCTAD, Rebeca Grynspan. We have the Commonwealth Secretary General, Baroness Patricia Scotland. And we have our new CARICOM Secretary General. This is her first trip to Barbados since taking up office, Carla Barnett, and we want to thank all of them for being here today. Of course, we have all of their officials, and I'd like to point out one of the Secretary General's advisors. Please step forward. I have to do so because he is a Barbadian of whom we're well proud, Selwyn Hart, and who was previously our ambassador to the US and our representative at the Inter-American Development Bank. I want to say that this has been a good day, I believe. We spent our morning talking to the young people of Barbados who are involved in Future Barbados so that we could get a sense of where they see and what they see as the things that we as leaders must be addressing in order to secure the world for them, ranging from climate action, obviously, in a world that is in the middle of a climate crisis, right back through to issues pertaining to health, mental wellness, and of course the big issue of digital connectivity. And I say all of these things because His Excellency has already in last week, and if you have not read it, I'd like to suggest to you that you read the Secretary General's speech to the UN, because in my view it is the most comprehensive statement of what faces our global civilization today and what we must bridge if we are to be successful and to ensure that our children can benefit from this world in the same way that we have been given the luxury of so doing. I want to also say to you that we were then able to visit some of our coastal protection work on the West Coast. As you know, the big issue of the time is the climate crisis as we get ready to go to Glasgow, and it is important for us to show what we are doing and why we are having to spend money on coastal protection at the very time that we also still need to be spending money on education and healthcare and all of the other things to make our society whole and to get us to the Sustainable Development Goals. But because of the crisis, the climate crisis in particular, we have to divert our spending to be able to protect our people. It's ironic that we're meeting here at Codrington College. Some of the persons who lost their housing in Hurricane Elsa, our first hurricane in 66 years, are in fact staying here, and I want to thank Reverend Dr. Clarke for being so kind and expressing, not only talking the talk, but walking the walk, and allowing us to be able to house some of the persons who lost their housing due to the last hurricane while we rebuild the houses. At this point, we've come here because I hope that one day in the future we will be able to establish on this site a spiritual university that brings the great religions of the world in one place and one space, without the isms and schisms that have separated us throughout the centuries, and to allow us to be able to understand that we can live together in this space. The Secretary General coined the phrase this morning that we have in our own way adopted and said differently, that Barbados really has to be that place in our view from where we can tell our stories and from where we can be an intellectual and creative hub. And part and parcel of today is about how do we protect that space. So at this point, I'll just hand over to His Excellency for a few words, and to the others just to say a few words as well. Thank you. Of course, with us, and separate from the Secretaries General, is the President of Guyana, who is my brother. And I want to thank him for coming and being here. This is his first trip to Barbados as President, and I really want to say how grateful we are for his presence, because Barbados and Guyana have historically had very close relations, but we suspect that we're going to have to work even closer together if we are to navigate the very difficult and challenging times in the global community at this point in time. Thank you.